here again tonight as we get ready to go into our final match. One of these two players is going home with $2,000 and the trip to go to the arena battles. Let us know who you think it is going to be. Will it be Loupanji or will it be GOAT?
To be fair to Loupanji, though, I think he has more 2-0s in the top 8 today than GOAT does. GOAT's been pulling out a lot of close games.
He does.
Oh no, looks like those minions might lock on the tower.
Oh, two of them.
An early lead.
So much damage.
Hey, shout out to GOAT, by the way. We mentioned, actually, I believe in the last Coronation Day, that nearly all of the players we see are at 4,000 plus trophies.
That's
GOAT
right.
making it all the way to the finals. 3,700, one of the lowest trophy counts we've seen, just proving that your trophy count on the ladder does not determine your competitive
better
nature.
have a log. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Wow. And they actually take down 600 health of that tower.
No log in the deck, just a zap, but you're right, he probably didn't have it, or he just used it there to save it on the Inferno Tower.
Yep. This Lava Hound is looking menacing. What do you have for anti-air? The Princess shoots infrequently and does only a smidge of damage.
Skeleton Army does a great job distracting all the backline pups, minimizing the amount of damage that the tower would take.
Yes.
Will a Princess shot kill a pups in one? No.
No, sir. Okay. Princess does a little less than a zap, I believe, and zap does not kill them either.
Okay.
Yes. They are actually fairly tanky.
Yeah. They're slow, they don't do that much damage, but you're right, they're not as easy to remove as you might think.
Goblin Barrel doing a little bit of chip again and holding Loupanji on notice.
Reminiscent of an earlier match, all 4 towers have taken kind of significant damage, and it allows both the Goblin, it really lets the Goblin Barrel and the Miner on both sides play to any of the 4 corners of the map. Every tower is somewhat vulnerable.
Are we going to call a corner again?
Bottom left.
I'm going
Bottom
with bottom left.
I'm going to take the favorite of
Okay.
top left.
Okay.
I'll do top right.
I think this push right here, this Lava Hound, here we go. Make me proud.
Make me proud.
Oh,
Left.
Come on. Go.
Bottom left.
Oh, wow. He split the damage.
Oh.
Really? Both of them.
Bottom left. I mean, that's
You're setting
less
yourself
elixir
up for
to
disappointment,
defend.
though.
Uh-oh.
I mean, what I mean to say is you're setting yourself up for disappointment because only the last hit point matters here. Oh no, the Miner doesn't kill the Princess, she lives!
Wow.
Oh, that might change this push dramatically.
Oh, shit. Princess could not. Princess back one. Okay. She didn't shoot at all.
Oh.
Defensive tombstones to try to mitigate. Wow, he really does not want that tower to go down, committing the fireball to that and the tombstone as well. Tombstone's going to convert a little bit, but that fireball is down the drain.
Oh no, they gotta use the Skeleton Army for defense. He has to, wow. He spent
Ooh, there's
really,
no more zap as well.
I think they both spent 7 elixir right there. Skeleton Army plus Fireball on defense to the Minion Horde and Zap on offense.
Now look at that skeleton, or that tombstone there in the bottom left there for Loupanji. That's just to counter Goblin Barrel, right?
And Miner.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it forces, the reason why you always play your tombstones on the outside like that is because it forces the Miner to go inside and it gives them an opportunity to accidentally play it too close so the other tower will shoot. There's only 2 spots on the inside lane of a tower where you can play a Miner and not have it be attacked by the other tower. And so it makes it easier to predict miners when you want to defend them.
All right, well, here we go.
Oh!
Bottom left. We're here in overtime, game number 1 of the finals.
Wow.
Go to Loupanji.
Oh.
An
Top
aggressive
right,
lava
top
hound.
right.
Oh, he didn't
Top
place
right.
There's no zap. What do you use the zap?
Bottom
You want to save your lava hound? Oh, wow. He plays the fence on his tower, and I think that was probably the right choice.
Because he does have all the little things
Top
in the
right,
air
top right,
surviving.
top right,
Oh no,
top
this might be
right.
it.
Oh, wow, that is.
It's really low. He has to fireball it.
Defensively, but the fire's coming out. Oh, 55 health. He's looking for that zap. He just needs to cycle to it. But
Wait,
there it is. He gets the zap. Ellen killing it. Well done. Top right goes down. We all owe you money.
And you guys have been playing this game way longer than I have.
100% skill.
Boom roasted. The 50-50 coin flip there. Hey, you okay?
I'm just admiring the...
The large screen.
Oh, God.
I get to look at the large screen the whole time. It's nice. I noticed.
Do you know what the lava pups look like? Because you can't usually see what they look like, but do they have like little faces and stuff?
Are they're blind? They're just like, their eyes are, that's true.
That's a lot.
They just were birthed into the world, so yeah.
Yeah, and they look like they look like the lava hound molted and shrunk. Like they kind of look like a skinless version of the lava hound, but not in a gross way. Just
In a really beautiful way.
Yeah, not gross
Because
at all.
birth is beautiful.
The way you just described it.
like a crab that lost his shell.
Super beautiful. The most beautiful thing I've ever probably
You
seen.
know, anyone? No? All right.
No, not at all. All right, there we go. So the first game going over very beautifully to Loupanji there, finishing off the zap.
That may not be the last we see of that deck either, because he could theoretically win with it another time if he wants to. It'll be interesting to see whether he wants to stick with it or change.
Yeah. So far, what do you think is his most comfortable deck? I know, obviously, we see the Three Musketeers on the side of Dark Charger. Like, that's his go-to. I don't want to see Loupanji here once tonight. What do you think is his kind of favorite deck? Which one does he play a little bit better with?
What's interesting is that I feel like you can often tell when players are running relatively similar decks because they show bias towards a playstyle. They build their best deck with that playstyle, and then they try to transfer their skills with that archetype by making another deck that is alternate or suboptimal.
Just kind of subbing in some.
So it's very obvious to see that, oh, this is their primary deck, then the one they put a lot of work into, and this is kind of their attempt at transferring that. I think for Loupanji and GOAT, their decks are so different that it almost seems like I'm not really sure. It feels like they're adaptable players rather than looking to expertly play one of their decks.
Right. The cards that Loupanji is duplicating is Miner, Mega Minion, Zap, and then he actually has Minions in one deck and Minion Horde in the. Or I'm sorry, no, he's got Minion. Never mind, sorry. But he likes Mega Minion and Miner in both decks. He's definitely going to play that sort of Miner style. In one deck, it's meant to support the Lava Hound, and the other deck, it's meant to support the Three Musketeers. It's hard to say which deck he's opening with now. GOAT stays with the Goblin Barrel deck.
Ooh.
Will Princess only say bullseye if she hits something?
No, I think the Princess just says stuff.
Bullseye.
She just says stuff.
I think only when she's cast, right?
Yeah, when she.
No,
She also like laughs at stuff.
Real talkative.
She kind of has an attitude.
I thought I heard her once when she killed something. She's like, got it.
Oh yeah, you know, maybe she's like that because I know that Bowler now has multiple text voice lines.
Yeah.
That I wonder if some of the legendaries also have a couple lines.
Yeah, the Princess definitely does. Yeah.
Those skeletons, because the Inferno Tower starts at such low damage, the skeletons are getting time to actually walk up
And
and stab it just a little bit, which is good because now this Lava Hound. Well, I think I would have played the Lava Hound a little further back to buy a little bit more time.
Oh, but there's more skeletons.
Yeah, but I still think you'd rather just have that Inferno Tower time out instead of actually wind up on some.
Oh, wow!
What do I know?
It did
It's
tag.
a little bit of damage.
Wow, that actually, yeah. Let's see, level all in your
So should I go with top right again, you guys?
I think it's gonna be a 3
Keep
crown.
gambling.
3 crown.
I feel like the words I speak today are cursed. So pick something that I don't say. Princess actually makes it to the tower. No minions to play?
Bullseye.
Interesting. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, so a good adaptation there. The Minion Horde went down the left side. Once it got Fireball, decided to be a little more aggressive coming down the right side with the Miner to support the defensive Mega Minion. And just like that, the towers are almost tied up again.
Very toe-to-toe. Here's the first one of the game. Goodbye.
Oh no. But with Zap used on the Goblin Barrel, what are you going to do about the Skeleton Army?
Oh,
no.
minions are a good choice. Plus, the Tombstone will pop and actually face the Skeleton Army quite well. There's a lot of small, chumpy troops in Loupanji's deck that is really keeping this Zap bait deck under control.
Ooh, that Princess almost single-handedly stopped that push. The Fireball helped. The Miner comes in to take her off the board, but at that point, all of those little swarmy troops were already dead from either spells or Princess shots.
Again, threatening Zap. And the Miner is here, but not necessarily close. But due to the fact that minions exist and the Tombstone exists, it's not a good enough Zap bait, I think.
Yeah, between the Tombstone and all the defensive air units, the GOAT's Miners aren't actually being that effective. He cast a Miner and a Zap and only got 130 damage on the tower.
I really think that he should look into combining Fireball. He needs to justify a time to Fireball units and the tower. There's so much that has clumped up in front of that tower. For example, the Mega Minion and the Minions and the Tombstone. I think that if he can be quick, take a risk even, and maybe try to read the opponent and make a Fireball of huge value, he would have already threatened spell cycle range at this point.
I was asked, what is stopping Ghost from this spell cycling? Is he afraid of?
I think he's going to do that now.
He really doesn't want to get punished by a Minion Horde Miner drop.
Fireball Zap, though, is the name of the game right now. MVP of this game has to be Princess, right? I mean, when you're playing a Zap bait deck, a deck that is looking to run your opponent out of cards like arrows and Fireball.
Whoa, just like that, the Mega Minion! GOAT not calculating for that. He dropped the log thinking it was going to be enough, but Loupanji takes the win.
He keeps getting away with
In the
it.
final seconds. This is this man's game. He just knows how to just get it right down to the wire. And then boom, taking it out. Loupanji 2-0 right now
What? How
against
did I
GOAT.
just-
1 game away from $2,000.
What just?
He's
How did he?
He's a dastardly fellow. He's a thief. He's a thief in the night coming to steal your town. No, I just can't. Right, like he was dead, right? He was dead
He was
to
so
the next
dead.
fireball.
He lost. I
log,
can't.
The log that was rolling in was
to
killing
win.
him.
That entire time, Goat's princess was just ruining that deck, like was killing all the minions, was making it really hard to get through any of those sort of shots,
Yeah.
and then suddenly, who would have thought that it came down to a log moving too slow to finish the tower off?
Yeah. All right. Well,
Wow.
now we're one more game away potentially. If Loupanji can take this next one, he is the winner. It
How
is
does he-
all up to GOAT.
How does he take it?
Well, he's switching now to the Three Musketeers
Right.
deck, which he hasn't been playing. He just won 2 games with the Lava Hound deck, which I guess answers the question. That's his preferred deck. So he's going to be playing this kind of oddball zap bait, deck with 3 Musketeers in it against, assuming Goat stays on the same deck.
Would you bring the same deck if you're GOAT?
Well, one of his decks has Fireball, one deck has Lightning, so at least both
Okay.
are relatively equipped.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I'd probably stick with this because if he wants to split Musketeers far away, you've got things like Princess again to just like weaken them before they cross the river. I don't know if you're just going to want to walk Giants and Ice Golems into 3 Musketeers, but who knows? Goat did just beat a 3 Musketeers deck in Darth Jar Jar to get here, so
Good point.
maybe he switches.
Good point. Well, Raina, what about you? What do you think?
I think I need a vomit. I need a that game was too close.
Yeah, because it was so sick.
It was too close. I think
So many
that
dad jokes.
I don't think I can deal with any more of us being sick.
Tag.
Let's just stick with.
Tag, you're pregnant. All right, guys, here it is.
oh my god.
Game potentially
Stop. Make it stop.
and match here. If Loupanji can take this, this will be his 3-0. It's up to GOAT to come back. We've seen it happen. We've seen someone come back and win 3 games in a row, so he's not out of the woods yet.
That was a very stylish. We talk about the gentleman's agreement sometimes where you open with both elixir collectors and just nod your head to each other. Both of them threw a goblin barrel and had it countered for 2 elixir, and they thumbed each other up.
Good answer.
Good play, sir.
Good play. Good show.
Oh.
Those are the times in my life where I'm like, are you sure that it works out that way? Because I think that Mega
that's
Minion
true.
could have had.
Oh, the Mega Minion, though, survived just enough to kill the princess. Huge advantage. That seems like a very minor thing, but think about that. That was 3 elixir that just got removed from the board that otherwise Loupanji would have to commit some extra elixir to kill, and instead, he can go to 10 pretty comfortably.
And he gets 2 princess shots for it, maybe a third.
Oh, wow, that's really good. I mean, that's 420 damage, I believe,
Yeah.
for only 3 elixir, which is a good
Ooh, a big fireball.
good trade for sure. And that fireball, yes, obviously very, very unfortunate.
That was something that I think Ghost should have started doing much earlier in the game. Playing minor fireball or minor goblin barrel fireball, some combination of that really hurt him.
I think the problem is you can't really put fireball out of your hand unless you want to get killed by 3 musketeers. He's got to really hold those fireballs for 3 musketeers, and not just hold the fireball, but start to get a sense, a feel of the game for when those 3 musketeers are going to come out, and maybe even like pre-fire it. Because if you play 3 musketeers and it just sits there for a beat or two, they're going to do a lot of damage. You almost have to be like, aha, he's saving up. I know that he's going to play these things now, and get ready for that fireball.
Go give it a little oops there. It seems like he's being a little maybe too cautious with that log. The goblin did get a stab.
Not
in.
the ideal choice. And the
Oh, the ice golem
golem
protects.
Oh wow, Princess lives.
skeleton army for the goblin barrel.
But he got what he wanted, which is no damage on the tower. That's what Goat was aiming for. It's just good defense there.
Ooh, he needs to log the goblin barrel and possibly the skeleton army at the same time.
Oh,
Another stab.
yeah, it was a slow log. He had the elixir for it. He may just not have had the card in his hand. He had to play skeleton army or something to cycle first, because they did get 1 round of stabs in.
Oh here's a push.
Princess did lock onto the chumpy troops though.
With
But the
minor
goblin
log.
barrel to assist.
Oh, wow.
Log's out of hand.
Oh, and the zap buys a little more time.
Wow.
Loupanji is playing
That's
out
zap
of his
range.
mind.
You know, I think Loupanji might be, I don't know if he's our first Canadian winner, but I think he might be our first French-Canadian winner if he can pull this game off.
Wow. All right, fireball going in. Looks like Goat is trying everything that he possibly can. That's a tower down. 5 more seconds.
you better
Goat
go,
has to
you
take
better
it
go,
down.
you better
Oh,
go.
Log's gonna do it.
There's no
Can he get the fireball? No. Match is over, and Loupanji
Oh, my
just like that.
Wow.
3-0 Goat in the finals. First time here at the Clash Royale North American Open, and coronation number 11 is yours, sir.
Second time. The first time we've seen
Yes.
it since Flash did it in the
Yes.
Coronation Day number 3. Flash 3-0'd his
Oh,
opponent.
sorry, Loupanji's first time here.
Oh, first time here. Oh, I'm sorry. And that's only our second sweep of the finals.
Yeah,
Yes.
well done. Well played.
Something I really, really liked from Loupanji's decks, actually both of them, was how flexible they were. In that game, 3 Musketeers was played once, and it did not do significant damage to the tower. It wasn't even the tower that ended up, 1 Musketeer made it to the right side tower, the tower that ended up falling was the left side. Loupanji was able to use these decks and say, hey, you have a counter to one of the cards in my deck, 3 Musketeers. Well, good thing that it is a linchpin in the deck, but not the linchpin in the deck, and still play Miner, Goblin Barrel, Princess to great success. His Lava Hound deck, there was a game in the round of 8.
He didn't even play.
Didn't play a Lava Hound.
Yeah.
Purely played Miner and Minion Horde. And he was able to understand, hey, I might get punished by a Hog Rider if I play my Lava Hound, so I'm just going to opt not to do it. Very, very well informed, and definitely one of the most expert players to come through the Coronation Days.
Yeah, totally. Well, let's take a look at our first replay of this final match of tonight. I think we got a little Lava Hound action in here.
Yeah, Lava Pups do so well, and the Miner too, in addition, means that the synergy is there. Having the tank available, has to spend the Fireball to stop the damage on the tower, but...
We talk about miner placement all the time. Think about if that miner was back corner instead of front corner, that whole push goes differently. The Mega Minion would actually start killing the swarms. Instead it locked onto the miner, which let them kill the Mega Minion and then lock onto the tower. We see that again. These miner placements are so critical. You don't just throw them sort of randomly on the tower. You have to really think, like, what is my opponent going to do? Do I want it behind the tower? Do I want it in front of the tower?
54 HP.
What close games, and even the last one was, 300 health away? That easily could have been one shot from a something, right? A princess, a something, you know?
Right. Is that, I got a question, is that our first time a Lava Hound deck has won? We've had Lava Hound decks get very close, make the finals. I can't recall if it's the first Lava Hound to win, but it's definitely the first time a 3 Musketeers deck has won the Coronation Day. So that's another archetype to hang up on the big wall. Yeah.
We really
doing
gotta
it,
start doing
guys.
that. Again, just letting people know, like, these are the top players, and that's why we're seeing the meta consistently change, right? When something comes against them, they figure out a way to move past it. We're seeing new decks. All right, just for a quick recap of the day, let's go ahead and pull up the bracket finally here for Coronation number 11. Rainy, Rumham, trace us through this event.
This Coronation Day probably had the most interesting decks. I wouldn't say that they strayed too far from understood archetypes. There was Miner Cycle, but it was a little bit different than what we had understood before. There were Golem decks, but they were a little different than what we understood before. There were Hog Rider decks that were also a little bit different. Expo makes a no-show once again, and I think that this tournament really demonstrates that these players are starting to finalize their decks, really fine-tune them, and make sure that they plug up any holes, any weaknesses.
Loupanji's running hot here. He lost the very first game of the top 8 to Chief Mystical and then rattled off 7 consecutive wins.
That's right.
Including some of these games with
my gosh.
23 health left on my tower, 34 health left on my tower, etc. to go all the way through and sweep the reverse sweep Chief Mystical, sweep the quarterfinals match or semifinals match, and then sweep the finals.
It's like that first loss just lit the fire.
Yeah.
Like
So
never again.
What's interesting is to be noticed, he only had a 77% win rate, so he was actually going 2-1 kind of often
Up to
in
this
the
point.
early rounds.
That's
But as soon
right.
as he hit the top 8, just put it into overdrive.
Impressive.
Refused to lose.
Not only is he taking home $2,000 and a chance to go to the crown duels, but he's going to go and live on throughout Clash Royale history.
Forever for internet history.
That was amazing. He's so sneaky. Sneaky guy.
And with innovative decks, I mean, the Lava Hound deck is something that it's known, but there's a lot of ways you can build it, and it's definitely more of a tier 2 archetype. It's something that consistently dominates, so his flavor of it did really well today. But this other deck is weird and definitely something that we haven't seen a lot of, and really big congrats.
Come at us with your flavor, with your own deck. Go to
us the flavor.
ClashRoyaleOpen.com, sign up. You could be the next Loupanji if you're that awesome.
Yeah, if you're sitting at home watching them going
so
like,
good.
I can do that. I like money. I want to go to Helsinki. You guys can do that. Our next broadcast is tomorrow night, 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is Coronation number 12. And then we only have 4 more, 1 more week after that. All 16 will be done, and then the arena battles will begin. 8 will move on to the crown duels after that, where one winner takes home $15,000 out of a $100,000 prize pool, and that trip to go to Supercell HQ. Congratulations. All right, final thoughts of the night before we wrap up.
Loupanji, pretty cool. Pretty cool guy.
Pretty cool dude.
Pretty cool dude. I think with Lava Hound, Giant Bowler, Golem, Expo, all of these decks already claiming a Coronation Day victory, we have 5 more Coronations. I'm excited to see if a new archetype evolves and some deck that we have not previously seen breaks out again and wins. It's very possible.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for Coronation number 11. On behalf of everyone here at NGE Studios in Burbank, California, this has been the official Supercell Clash Royale North American Open. That is Rumham and Rainey.
I'm Ella.
Spotter decks are not dead.
Have a most ridiculous night.
Bye. Man, okay, I hope it's